Hello everybody, it is Sunday the 15th of June. I haven't made a video in a few days. I'm talking about the unexpected happening here, and it's happening a lot at the moment. And if you grow through challenge, I don't know, a little bit less would do. I don't need to be challenged that much. I don't feel the need. We have a mare that foaled 5 days ago and then promptly rejected her foal, started attacking it, so we needed to separate the two, and we're now hand rearing a foal, which is basically having a baby in the house again. And they're actually worse than babies. They need to be fed every 2 or so hours, 2.5 hours. And I'm getting too old for this. Anyway, I've been extremely tired. We all are. Anyway, that's what's been happening here. But I had time to look at a couple of things, and what I saw was actually scary. And what I saw might be the path by which humanity keeps going wrong, where every time there is an expansion of awareness, of the knowledge of who we are, of the knowledge of self, every time that expansion happens, we jump to the wrong conclusion. And it is a jump. I want to show you this here. We jump to the wrong conclusion and we go on a path that will lead to destruction. And that jump was made actually not that long ago, again, in the occult. That jump was made by Aleister Crowley. I have been made aware of Aleister Crowley and what it is they're actually thinking and what it is they're doing. And there's the mistake that humanity continuously tends to make, which will destroy what was built, throw us back into darkness, and then we have to go on the path all over again. There's the circle we're going around. Anyway, I want to show you this here. And it is the thought of Aleister Crowley that I can actually hear. The words I can hear on channels that proclaim themselves to be oh so spiritual and oh so inspired. Inspired by what? Talking about we need to find the source, we need to get back to source. Well, find the source of that thought that you're laboring under. The idea that you're laboring under, find the source of that. And right now it will take you no further than Aleister Crowley if you backtrack. So, what were they doing? They were expanding awareness, yes, in the wrong way. I want to talk about that as well in a minute. They left, and yes, I'm watching this channel. And I don't know how much of what's been said there is being said by Aleister Crowley himself, or was said by Aleister Crowley himself, or what is being said by the narrator. But it is being said, and I mean, no thought remains unchanged. Yeah, people take it, they run with it, they add their own penny's worth to the thought, and there it grows. That is the way of growing trees of knowledge, from a seed being added to. So I don't know what all was said by Aleister Crowley himself or what was said by the narrator, but it is growing. So he said that occult, and here comes the expansion of awareness into the unknown, into the occult, into the hidden. Is to challenge the narrow confines of conventional knowledge. Okay, it is an expansion of knowledge. Fine, we're expanding, great. But then Aleister Crowley expanded again outside of this matrix. outside of what people call the satanic matrix, outside of the order, the law. You are no longer under the law. You are expanding beyond that into the unknown, outside of this world, outside of the confines of this world. And then came up with the knowledge that do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Anything is possible. So do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. You are the law. That is the thought. You are the law. You are all. You are all there ever was and ever will be, and your will shall be done. Your will is the law. And that is the way into destruction. Here, I don't know, as I said, the narrator said, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, is an axiom that resonates as a sacred mantra. It resonates with you. The thought starts resonating within you until it fills you. The resonance, that becomes your vibration. You become that. Again, the thought is creating the being on a level beyond the physical. It creates the being. You become that. My will shall be done. It is the law. I'm not saying let that sink in. You must absolutely not let that sink in, because it is false. It is false. But you should observe it and you should think about it. You really should. So an axiom, a statement that everyone believes is true. There you believe it to be true, you start resonating with that thought. And then in the authentic expression of will lies the essence of existence. It is the authentic expression of will that lies, in that lies the essence of existence. That is a very dangerous thought. And that is a thought that will lead into destruction. Those that go around saying, we must leave this matrix. We are imprisoned in this matrix. It is false, because we are the truth. Yeah? We are all there ever was and ever will be. There is nothing that should imprison us, because we are eternal. I don't know what. And really finding authenticity. You are speaking the words of Aleister Crowley. Are you aware of that? Are you aware of the source of those words? And they are spreading. And they are creating in this world. And they are creating chaos, because that is where the words came from in the first place. Aleister Crowley, again, was somebody who brought the knowledge into this world, and it keeps happening, and it keeps spreading, and it keeps creating the destruction. But the source is outside of this world. It's outside of this matrix. It's the source of that thought. And that is the realm of chaos. It is the realm of insanity. And we're going there. Clapping and chanting, we're going there. We're going into authenticity. You're going into chaos. Because that is the ultimate source of that thought. The realm of chaos. So, and as I said, we keep going wrong. This thought, do what thou wilt, shall be the whole of the law. How do we arrive at that thought? Well, I mean, it's been given from out there, but there's things that need to happen before we can resonate with that thought. Now, one of the knowledges that was brought into this world was brought by Jesus, and there is the expansion of awareness of what we are and what we are in. Whatsoever you ask for in prayer, know that you have received it, and it will be yours. The power of the Spirit to create realities. That was a knowledge that was brought into this world, and then what do you do with that knowledge? And here's where good and bad comes into being. Because it's not in the knowledge itself. The knowledge is just a fact. For me, it is a fact. I believe that that is truth. But what do you do with that truth? So from the thought of whatsoever you can ask for in prayer, it will be yours. What is that then? What is the prayer? The prayer is an expression of a desire. That's what prayer is. You know, you have a desire that you want to have fulfilled. And if that actually works, then the next step would be, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Your desire is the law. Your will is the law. And there shall be nothing restricting it. There shall be no restrictions. So let's think about the cube. It's another thing I was looking at. The cube in the occult teaching represents order. A structure. It creates a structure. Order creates a structure. Laws that create a structure. Without the law, there is no structure. There is chaos. Outside of the structure is chaos. Again, Aleister Crowley, summoning demons, summoning those that are in the realm of chaos. The greatest one that he supposedly summoned, his name was Sharonson, a being that cannot be fathomed or understood by a human mind. Not because of its greatness, but because it's that far into chaos and insanity that most of us cannot know it anymore, thankfully. Thankfully, we cannot know it. And I don't know why Aleister Crowley and his crowd thought that that was greatness, or that was something that chaos would somehow serve you. I don't know. See, there's a path I cannot follow. I don't know how that made sense in their heads. But that is what they did. They got instructions from the realm of chaos to somehow serve them, make them greater in this world. I don't know how you suppose that would work. It creates destruction. It creates destruction of the order. To do what? To rebuild? To rebuild. We're going to build back better. We're going to build something greater than the order that is in this world, because we are the creators of all. Something like that. Then you really must see what the cube inside of the sphere actually is. Again, the sphere is a symbol of eternity. The cube is the symbol of order. You've got order inside something that is creating eternity, inside of the sphere. So what is the order in this world? What is Satan in this world? or what is the order trying to achieve in this world? What should the law serve? And again, okay, he says to challenge the narrow confines of conventional knowledge, or as many say, to get out of the laws of society. Now, the laws of society are a mixture of two things. One is nature, and the other is laws that were created by religion, by politics, by the interests of the few to get everything for themselves. So, yes, I think the laws of society should be challenged. A lot of them should be. Because again, there's a law that serves a purpose, and the purpose is for the few to rule over the many, and forget it. But the laws of nature serve a different purpose. You will know them in their fruit. You know it in the outcome. In this world, you see a lot of different levels of different kinds and different levels of consciousness, which you read as different forms, that are together in a web of life. The thought being all shall live, all shall be sustained. Everything in the web gives and receives, and life as a whole shall be sustained for all that are part of this matrix. That is the thought, and the law is built in a way that it will support that thought. That is the aim of the law. And if you go against it, you become the destroyer of nature, of life on this planet. And I would say those that go too far into becoming the destroyer will, in the end, be ejected from this world. They will no longer be a part of this world. If they resonate with the wrong thought, just for myself, I am all there ever was and ever will be. Not seeing yourself as a part of a greater thing, but you are above even that. You've gone too far. Rejecting the laws of society is one thing. Rejecting the laws of nature is another. And at some point you will find yourself outside of this structure in the realm of chaos. And I wonder if that's where you want to go. And as I said, it is chaos and it is insanity, and the glorious light that you perceive, that is you frying. Yeah, that is not enlightenment, that is you frying. Until, as I said, you turn, in a way, you turn into a demon. You become a demon. It's a state of being. And it's a state of being that is outside of the order of this world. Out of the law, outside of the law of this world. The law of this world is trying to achieve something good. And you're saying, I need to be outside of it because of what? I am a powerful being, so I should have everything that I want. That is the attitude of a 5-year-old. I want, therefore I should have. That's a toddler. I keep saying, grow up. So, and here is, again, let's say the expansion of the awareness of what we are. We are more than just the solid. We are more than just the solid. We are the solid. But we are more than that. let's say we do become powerful beings out of the knowledge of ourselves and what we can achieve. And then comes a choice, and there's where Aleister Crowley and the others are making the wrong choice that will lead into destruction. As long as you are in the solid, you do not have that knowledge of yourself. You are, in a way you are imprisoned. But you are still learning. In the solid you are learning the laws of action and consequence, which will not go away. Wherever, any level you go to, those laws will remain. There will be action and there will be consequence. And in the solid you're learning that the hard way. Literally the hard way. But once, as I said, you become a powerful being, does that mean you suspend all the laws? Just because you can be outside of the law, does that mean that is where you should be? Or could you become a powerful being and remain within the law? Because if you see the law not as something that is imprisoning you, but as something that is creating a structure in which all shall be sustained. The law of this world is balance. In the end, it's balance. It's balance between all the different things. All have a right to be. All give, all receive. And to be in balance with everything else. This is what this world teaches you. Balance. And the law of this world should aid you to remain within balance with everything else. So that if you become a powerful being, if that resonates with you, if that thought resonates with you, of being in balance with all the other consciousnesses, and that is no matter what level they are on. Even if they are on a level below you, does not mean you rule over them or you can do whatever you like. They are part of the web and they need to be respected. You do not become what I will is the only law. And I can do whatever I like. This is where we're going wrong. This is a thought that keeps coming in and that keeps creating destruction. But so, as I said, as we are children, or as we only know the solid, we are bound by those laws. And we are imprisoned through our own ignorance of what we are, okay. But once we grow up, and here comes self-determination. Then you have self-determination. You have the possibility of that everything is possible and you can do what you want. So in a way you are outside of the structure. You're no longer bound by the structure. But then what is creating the order then in which you can exist? What will create the order? Then there needs to be order for something to exist. Outside of that is chaos and insanity. So if you are no longer bound by a heavy hand, then what will create the order? Unless you, out of your own free will, submit to the order, not because you have no other choice. That becomes your choice. As a powerful being, to submit to the order, to the balance of everything. Self-restriction. No longer being restricted by something else, but restricting yourself. And that is being a grown-up. You impose laws on children to keep them safe. I mean, that's why we restrict our children. It is to keep them safe. We do it out of love, because they do not understand, and they're liable to do the wrong thing out of curiosity and, oh, that looks good, and they get hurt. So we restrict our children out of love. But at some point we have to let them go. And then will they be able to restrain themselves? In a way, Aleister Crowley and all of those that go the way of out of this matrix and everything is possible, no longer being bound by the law, they did not mature. They did not grow up. But they're going out there as children with no restraint. And they will be destroyed. This is why this path has to be disciplined. There has to be a law. There needs to be a structure and order in which this knowledge functions. This is not a prison. This is creating a place in which consciousness can experience life. The law is creating that space. And as I said, outside of it is chaos and insanity. And those that, as I said, expand awareness, seek the knowledge of those that are outside in the zone of chaos, and then take their instructions. Instead of being instructed by this world. We're taking the wrong turn there. And I would say it has happened so many times. We're talking about ancient civilizations that had great knowledge, not only technology, but also spiritual. They had great spiritual knowledge. They were so much more advanced than we are now. They're gone. Can I just point out to you that they are no longer part of this world. They all disappeared. They were destroyed. Now, where did they go? Something went wrong. They made up and great and expanded and whatever, but something went wrong because they're no longer here. They did not make it. So what went wrong? And I think it is exactly that thought. It's an ancient thought. It is coming from the realm of chaos. It keeps entering into this world through people that make contact with that realm. I say Aleister Crowley has just been one of the latest ones. And then they build organizations in this world, and the thought spreads, and people are no longer aware of the source. So yes, you need to be inside of some law, because the law creates a structure in which you can exist, in which you can know yourself. Outside, as I say, it's all possibilities as chaos. It will lead to insanity. That insanity is now spreading in this world. Which laws do you want to adhere for? What structure do you want to be in? Yet that's a question. As I said, laws of society, laws of man, mostly set to benefit the few. You reject them or you rebuild them in some way, fine. I think they could do with some improvement. Laws of nature, you're going too far. There is something that is greater than you, and us as humanity. Nature is, we are only a part of nature. Nature itself is greater than us. And its laws is what is creating life in this world. And I would not go up against them. Become a powerful being by all means, but stay within the law. And then maybe this world will turn into a heaven. Because right now it is the realm of chaos that is creating destruction and hell. It is bringing its own hell into this world. And we're letting it in. We are the gateway. And I say more than often not knowing what it is we're doing, or what the source of our thoughts actually are. Once you see the source, maybe you would think differently about what it is you're proclaiming as the only truth. Anyway, here, I leave it at that for today. And I will talk to you again soon. I've looked at the structure that is creating this matrix. I've been looking at time and other things, but I need to think about that a bit more. What laws are creating the structure, and we need to know the laws that are creating the structure so that we can stay within them, even if we are powerful beings. We actually need to know the law, understand it, see it, and then be very careful to stay within it. Stay within the matrix, outside is chaos. And don't stay in the matrix out of fear of the chaos. Don't be afraid of the chaos, but see the good that the structure creates and resonate with that good. Anyway, here, I leave that up for today, and I talk to you again soon. Bye.